Today we're going to be talking about a knife that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is the Laconico Monterey Bay Knives Old Guard. This has a drop point style blade with damn near a full flat grind, a relatively thin blade stock with some chamfering going all the way down the spine of the blade. That's a very cool thing. These thumb studs are relatively sharp, but they're your generic thumb studs. They're just pyramid style thumb studs. This is an M390 blade, as we can tell by the tang of the blade right there, M390. And as you can see here, Monterey Bay Knives logo. And I think that looks pretty good. These scales, once again, basic yet amazing. They got this beautiful blasted finish that's going on here on both sides. This milled titanium pocket clip with the same blasted finish. We do have a titanium backspacer that's kind of basic, but it fits the basic design. On the inside here, you can see there is a lot of milling for weight relief, and for being a basic knife at a price point of around 200 bucks, this is a really good thing to see. I don't want to see flat scales with no milling on the inside. Yes, we like our heft, but we don't want it to be overly unnecessarily heavy. That's just dumb. We do have this stainless steel lock bar insert here that doesn't allow it to travel over this way, and it prevents the titanium from riding on the steel, which could cause some lock stick or galling. This is riding on phosphor bronze washers, which is another reason why I actually really like this knife, because it has incredible action despite being on those washers. You can reverse flick it from the thumb studs or thumb flick it. Now, if you were to do that over and over, these thumb studs might wear on you a little bit, but you know, you'll get used to it. It's one of those things. It's not like a Sabenzo where it's like, oh god, this sucks. Nah, it's just over time they do get a little pointy. Lanyard hole right here. Okay. The knife's coming in at about 8 1/4 inches with a blade length of about 3 1/2 and a cutting edge of about 3 1/2 due to the way that these scales kind of contour here and the blade continues down here for the cutting edge. The blade stock thickness is coming in at around 130 thousandths. That's not too bad. It's a little bit more than I would like to see, but it does add a little bit of robustness in theory. The behind the edge thickness is coming in at around 20 to 25 thousandths, so that's going to be pretty average, but as you can tell from this video right here, it slices like a monster, so it does pretty damn well in performance, and it does feel pretty comfortable. These are contoured titanium scales, but it's coming in at about 440 thousandths. That's actually a little bit more narrow than most knives, so despite it having a full presence, it's gonna fit in your pocket pretty darn well. And this pocket clip, as you can see up here by this video, works pretty darn good too. The overall weight's coming in at about 3.6 ounces. That's almost an ounce an inch for that blade length, giving it a pretty damn good ratio for such a full-size knife, thanks to all that milling on the inside. Here it is next to your PM2 and your Para 3. As you can see, the same exact length as your PM2, but you're getting much more cutting edge due to this little situation that the PM2 has going on. PM2s and Para 3s notoriously don't have the best cutting edge to length ratios. Here it is next to your Rat Model 1 and your Rat Model 2. As you can see, almost everything, even in profile, kind of, almost the same exact as your Rat Model 1. And last, here it is up next to your Spartan Harsey full size and your Spartan Harsey 3.25 inch. As you can see, the Spartan Harsey full size, those of you that actually have held the knife, is a pretty damn large knife. And the Monterey Bay Old Guard isn't much shorter than that. It feels much smaller in hand. When I pick up the Spartan, it definitely feels like a monster of a knife. It's a big boy knife, right? This is still a big boy knife, but it feels more slim and sleek, so it's gonna go in and out of your pocket and carry much better, in my opinion, than the Spartan Harsey. So what don't I like about the Monterey Bay Old Guard? You know, I really have no complaints. In Ray Laconico fashion, he's very basic and very simple, and it keeps that elegant feel, and it doesn't really try to add more than it actually is. The fact that they milled out the inside of this is getting into where I actually like, because I don't have any real dislikes. What I really like is how they milled out the inside of this despite it being basic. That's not so much of a basic move if you look at other basic knives. This blade is relatively thin with this full flat grind, and you know what? It could be slicier, but it could be much thicker, so I'm not mad at that. If you wanted to do anything, maybe make it a little bit more thin, but I think it works just fine the way it is. In and out of your pockets just fine. The actual look of this is elegant and simple. You know, if it was anything other than Ray Laconico, I'd say it's boring, but knowing that it's Ray Laconico, I think he did it really well because this sticks true to what he does. This knife was coming in around $200 to $225 when it's brand new. I'm not sure if it's discontinued yet, but this is another one that I think is definitely worth the $200 to $225, considering some Kaiser frame locks were up there, and this is much better than any Kaiser frame lock I have ever held. Even though it's on washers and doesn't have that bearing action, it still has cool action, a great profile, and it's just something that I actually really enjoy. The Monterey Bay Old Guard is definitely a win in my opinion. You guys stay sharp, stay safe, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and you guys have a great freaking rest of your day. Thanks for watching, guys.